With so many super ultra wides getting released every other year, the temptation to jump on the latest and greatest is very alluring, and with Samsung's Odyssey super ultra wides already in their fourth installment, the age-old question, do you need to upgrade, never stops lingering in prospective buyers' heads. And after using my fair share of them, here's everything you need to know before pulling that trigger. Buckle up and let's go for the ride. First things first, just to bring you up to speed in case you don't know the super ultra wide variants in Samsung's Odyssey lineup, we've got the original 49-inch Odyssey G9, then the Odyssey Neo G9 also coming in at 49 inches, and most recently an OLED variant of the same size and a 57-inch version of the Odyssey Neo G9. With the lineup already laid out, I'm sure you're most excited about what differentiates one from the other. Starting with the screen curvature, the Odyssey Neo G9 comes in with a 1000 hour curvature, which is passed from the previous gen G9 and also carries on to its successor, the 57-inch variant. As for the 49-inch OLED version, it's got a 1800 hour curvature. Now, I know it all boils down to preference, but having used the 1000 hour curvature on my Neo G9 the longest, it perfectly mimics the curvature of the human eye, and in case you didn't know, when you view a flat screen monitor for an extended period of time, your eyes make small but continual focus shifts that lead to increased fatigue. Therefore, the curved display helps your eyes maintain a constant focus across the entire screen, resulting in less fatigue and a more comfortable viewing experience. Talking of comfortable experiences, with the Odyssey Neo G9 you can comfortably have multiple input displays thanks to the picture-in-picture and picture-by-picture feature. Once again, the Odyssey OLED is the odd and out with only picture-by-picture capabilities. Coming back to my Odyssey Neo G9, I've enjoyed this feature as it's enabled me connect my PS5 whenever I want to feel the immersion of the Odyssey Neo G9. And now that I'm adding a mini PC to the setup, it's going to be super ideal, but there's a small caveat. The 49-inch Odyssey Neo G9 doesn't come with an inbuilt KVM switch like its bigger brother the 57 variant to enable me easily switch my peripherals to whichever input I choose. Good thing, external KVM switches always come to the rescue like this one from Ugreen. Another difference worth noting is the Odyssey Neo G9 has DisplayPort 1.4, whereas the 57-inch variant comes with DisplayPort 2.1, which is the perfect segue to talk about the next thing, the 240Hz refresh rate. If you know a thing or two about high refresh rates, besides having a beefy PC, they also need a lot of bandwidth for you to be able to get the max resolution at 240Hz, and with DisplayPort 2.1 connected with display stream compression, PC gamers would be in paradise. Speaking of gamers, they love how good the Odyssey Neo G9 handles motion at lower refresh rates, but on the opposite end, the bigger 57-inch does a better job at 240Hz. Moving on to the display, the Odyssey Neo G9 has a VA panel that uses mini LED backlighting to bring it to life, and this is also the same for the original 49-inch G9 and the 57-inch version. On the contrary, just like the name suggests, the OLED G9 uses a QD OLED panel, and this lands me to the obvious question, which one is better? If you ask me, there's a lot more nuance to this question, but to break it down for you, the OLED will be better for media consumption thanks to the deeper blacks and more vivid colors. The 49-inch Neo G9 on the other hand gets a lot brighter thanks to its local dimming feature that enables it to have less blooming. Something to note though, OLED panels risk burning and the G9 OLED is no exemption, and as if that's not enough, they also come with text clarity issues, so if you want something for productivity, the Neo G9 is a better choice. The one thing I love about the G9 OLED is it's got a remote control to navigate the on-screen display, unlike its other counterparts which have an OSD stick underneath the screen for the same purpose, and that can be a bit tricky for first-time users. Moving along, having just talked about the display, color accuracy would be the perfect segue to that, especially if you're looking to use the Odyssey Neo G9 as your editing monitor. One thing to note off the bat is, out of the box, the Samsung Odyssey Neo G9 has okay color accuracy, but it's not super accurate, so if you intend to do professional work and your budget allows, the Apple Studio display is one of the best, and the Dell S2721QS would be a good budget option. Going into why the Odyssey Neo G9 is not the best, out of the box it comes set in the sRGB mode, and this makes the white balance appear off, particularly with pure white, and most colors are a bit inaccurate. Once again, with the sRGB mode, the color temperature also appears slightly warmer than expected, but this isn't really noticeable. Another thing about the sRGB mode is, just like most monitors, it locks down some of the picture settings, but on the flip side, it's more accurate than most of the picture modes, except for custom, which I found to be the most accurate, and for context, here's a comparison with the other modes. It's not all dark and gloom because with some calibration, color accuracy is nearly spot on, and like mentioned not too long ago, custom gets it rocking, then tweaking my brightness to 97, contrast to 71, RGB to 46, 51 and 49 respectively, then set gamma to mode 2 and you should be good to go. On the contrary, the OLED variant, even before calibration, is quite impressive, mostly due to its QD OLED technology. Moving on to gaming, just like the other super ultra-wide Samsung Odyssey monitors, the Odyssey Neo G9 was purpose-built for gaming, and whether it's your PC, Xbox Series X or PS5, you wouldn't be disappointed, and that's because of the support they have for each one of them, starting with the inputs. With HDMI 2.1 for your consoles and DisplayPort 1.4 on the 49-inch variants and 2.1 on the 57-inch monitor, you won't have any issues with connectivity. As for input lag, the 49-inch Neo G9 has incredibly low input lag, but there's a catch. The refresh rate setting on your monitor has to match the refresh rate setting on your PC or console, otherwise the input lag increases drastically. Speaking of which, when you also enable variable refresh rate control, it can also cause a significant increase in input lag. Talking about refresh rates, the Odyssey Neo G9 is good at it, but this varies depending on the port. With the HDMI port, the max refresh rate you can get is 144 Hz, whereas on the DisplayPort, the max you can get is 240 Hz, and again, this will exclusively work on a beefy PC. Having owned my 49-inch Neo G9 for almost 2 years, gaming on it the last couple of months has been nothing short of phenomenal, and the fact that most of the games I play on it have full support for super ultra-wides, I've had some of the most immersive gaming experiences, especially when playing story-driven games. When it comes to productivity, the massive screen real estate that most of you are already aware of has lots of benefits that come with it. Unlike the tiny monitors where you'd have to close one window in order to view the other, or have to really minimize them in order to use both at the same time, the Odyssey Neo G9 gives you the option to have 3 fairly decent sized windows at the same time and keep chipping away at whatever project you're doing. Again, like mentioned earlier, the OLED variant struggles a bit with text clarity, and when doing research for your scripts or writing them out, you'd have some trouble with that. Speaking of doing research and writing down scripts, I like to have 3 windows open, and one of the favorite apps I enjoy using to help me maximize this capability is called Magnet. With Magnet, you can customize how big you want the windows to snap and whatever layout suits you. Case in point, like mentioned not too long ago, I like to have 3 windows open with my main window in the center and the secondary windows on either side. My personal preference being the 8:9 aspect ratio for all 3 windows, and all I gotta do is click on the app icon on top of the menu of the screen, then a drop down menu rolls out from which I can pick what part of the screen I want the windows to snap. For those who use Premiere Pro, you'll enjoy the screen real estate that comes in handy, especially if you have a massive timeline, and for your assets, the viewer and media pool are much larger compared to when you use a smaller display like that of your laptop. With the bare bones of Samsung's super ultra wide monitors laid out, the big question remains, which one should you buy? Now, if you'd ask me, there's a few variables to consider, from budget, use case, preference, the list goes on and on. Starting with the budget, the original G9 would set you back around 1,370 Australian dollars, its successor, the Neo G9, setting you back 1,899 Australian dollars, then their OLED counterpart coming in at 1,999 Australian dollars, and finally, the big brother, the 57-inch Neo G9, coming in at 2,799 Australian dollars. Even though some of them are already discounted, if you bargain hunt, you can score them for much lower prices, especially on the refurbished market. As for use case, majority of the people who get these super ultra wides would use them for both productivity and gaming, and if that's the case, the 49-inch Neo G9 would be the sweet spot, as it gives you majority of what's in the original G9, some of what's in the OLED, and the 57-inch Neo G9 is just its bigger version with a few extra features. That said and done, ultimately it all boils down to your preference, but I'd highly recommend the 49-inch Odyssey Neo G9. Well, there you have it, peeps. If you found this video helpful or enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. To see how you can maximize the potential of your Samsung Odyssey Neo G9, check out this video. Until then, people of the internet, I'm signing out. See you on the next one.